Hi everybody, I'm Ron Cantor and you're watching Out of Zion on God TV. Now we're still in the Valley of Elah, this famous place in Israel where the boy David slew the giant Goliath. And it's also the place, as I've been sharing with you, that we broadcast our signal at God TV all over the world. Now today I want to talk about what David had to go through before he was able to fight the giant. Now, we've all had situations in life where people have spoken words to us or against us, and they can have a great effect in our lives. I want you to see what David had to endure. Now, his father had given him some food to take to his brothers, and he goes, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 kilometers, but he gets to his brothers where they're facing the Philistines, and he had to go throughout the encampments, and I can just imagine, just in this area right here, his brothers and all the Israelites setting up tents, and he finds his brothers, and he hears what's going on with this Philistine, how he's coming out. So this is where it all took place. On that mountain, you would have the Philistine army. On this side, you would have the Israelites. And in the middle, you have the valley. And in the valley, it serves as a natural amphitheater. So when Goliath would come out and say, "This day I defy the ranks of Israel," the entire Israelite army could hear him. He mocks the God of Israel. And David is in shock. David doesn't realize that everybody else isn't like him. David loves God. David knows God. He's met God as a shepherd. And when he sees that the Israelites are terrified, he doesn't know what to do. But he hears that the king has made specific promises to the person who takes down the giant. And he asks some people about it. And then the Bible says in verse 28, his brother Eliab says to him, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those sheep in the desert? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down here only to watch the battle." Wow, can you imagine your brother, someone who you love or is supposed to love you more than anyone in the world? You're supposed to be close. And he says, "I know how wicked your heart is." Now, neither one of them knew what was about to happen. David didn't realize he was about to be part of one of the most famous stories that the world has ever known, and certainly his brother did not know. But the enemy used somebody close to him to wound him emotionally to keep him from his destiny. I bet that's probably happened to you before. I know it's happened to me. I remember in the late 90s, I wanted to be a writer. I liked writing. I enjoyed writing. I was asked to write an article, and I wrote it, and I submitted it. And when the final copy came back to me from the editor, it had so many changes. It was just as if the editor said to me, "Ron, you cannot write." And I believed that I was not a writer up until 1998-99. We moved to Odessa, Ukraine to teach in a Bible school, and Ukraine is very different from Virginia. And I began to write emails back to folks about my adventures there, and people began to write me and say, "Ron, you're such a good writer." And I was like, "I am?" And I got so much encouraged from that. In fact, they've told me you need to take all those emails and put them in a book. And we did. It's called "You've Got Mail from Odessa." But I spent about 6 years believing that I could not write just from that one experience. Now imagine David having to overcome when his brother said to him, "Your heart is wicked. I know you're conceited. You just came down here to watch the battle." And it's very important for us to watch what David did, because he starts to defend himself. But the Bible says that then he turned away from his brother and he brought up the matter with somebody else. In other words, he said, "You're not keeping me from my destiny. I'm going to kill that giant." And killing the giant is just what he did. Let's kill the giants in our lives that would tell us that we cannot fulfill the call of God. Go to God.tv so you never miss an episode. And you can find me at roncantor.com.
Please follow Ron on Twitter and Facebook at Ron S. Cantor to find out more about Ron and his ministry. For more information on God TV and the Out of Zion programs, or to view these programs again, go to god.tv/Zion.